Alright guys, so I just wanted to make a short video talking about some major internet issues I've been having in Warzone and how you guys could actually have the same problem and not even know it. It could literally be the reason you're losing fights or just having an overall bad experience with the game, and that could be with any game, not just Warzone. Now stick around because towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can actually test to see if you're having these problems, and these are issues that you wouldn't even know about unless you actually looked. Now, I'm also going to have a video out within the next few days showing you a bunch of network optimizations that really helped stabilize my internet and gave me a massive reduction in ping. My latency while searching for a match in-game and just overall on my network dropped dramatically, and the results from before and after the optimizations, they're just completely night and day. Just make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified once it goes out. Now, I'm just going to briefly tell the story about what led me to discovering these problems, just in case any of you are having similar issues, and I'm just going to run some gameplay in the background while I talk. Alright, so it basically started back when Warzone 3 first released. At least that's when it got really bad. Just a few weeks into the game, I noticed something was seriously off. Every single time I'd get into a fight, it just felt like I was behind whoever I was fighting. And what I mean by that is it just always felt like my opponent was a couple steps ahead. And I don't mean that in a skill sense. I mean it more of in a technical sense where what I was actually seeing on my screen wasn't what was actually happening live. Now, one of the signs that something was definitely off was a lot of times I was getting killed extraordinarily fast, way faster than the time to kill for that specific weapon. It's kind of like getting cameraed when somebody comes around a corner fast, only with this it was happening no matter what the situation was. Now, another major sign that something was wrong is a lot of times I'd watch the kill cam and it would tell a completely different story from what I actually saw, where they weren't just standing there, they were actually firing at me the entire time. Now, eventually I found out that whenever this happens, there's a good chance you're getting something called Desync. And what that is when you're not synced up to the server properly, it causes mismatches in information, making it so that things that are happening in the game aren't showing up on your screen. So basically you're just a step behind from what's actually happening. Now, it wasn't until a couple months down the line that I actually realized that I was having this problem. I knew something was definitely off and I figured it was internet related. I just didn't specifically know what it was, but I was losing almost every single fight. It didn't matter if I saw him first, landed every single shot or which gun I was using. I was literally running in the bots, landing all neck and headshots and still getting beat. Now, it wasn't until I ran an internet stability test while playing an actual game that I realized I was getting these massive latency spikes every 30 seconds to a minute, where it was causing my ping to go from like 40 to 50 milliseconds all the way up to 300 to 400 milliseconds, sometimes much higher, causing me to desync with the server. Now, eventually I compared the stability test results with the actual game recordings, and I noticed that my ping was going the highest whenever I would start fighting, or if there was just a lot going on around me, like airstrikes, grenades, or just a bunch of other people fighting. Now, since some of the changes that I made that I'm going to show you in the optimizations video, it's definitely gotten a lot better. Like I said, my ping is much lower than it was, especially on the upload side of things, but my internet still sucks, and a lot of that probably has to do with the fact that I'm stuck with Spectrum cable, which is absolutely terrible for gaming. The max upload speed that we can get is only 40 megabytes per second, and there's even rumors that Spectrum limits its bandwidth for gaming just because they consider it low priority and they think it improves the overall shared signal of the area. Now, I actually had 2 different Spectrum employees tell me that. I don't know how true it is, but one thing's for sure, fiber's definitely the way to go for gaming. Unfortunately, it's just not an option where I am. Now, I did end up ordering a higher end network interface card that plugs directly into my computer. Right now, I'm just using the onboard Ethernet port that came with my motherboard. There's a lot of information out there that says a separate interface card can actually boost performance. In my case, I can see that being a definite possibility just because the onboard Ethernet relies strictly on the CPU to manage the network. And since my CPU is already struggling in Warzone, it only makes sense that the network would struggle as well. Good thing is they're not that expensive. Some of the best ones out there are under $100. Once I get it, I'll make a video on it showing the differences between the two. Alright, so I'm just going to briefly show you how you can test to see if you're having any stability issues. I'm going to show you 2 different ways that you can do this. There's probably more, but the way I'm showing you is fast and easy, and they're going to give you a rough idea of what's going on. Now, the first way is through a website called PacketStats.com. You can run the test right in your browser. You don't have to download anything. I would just set this time range here to 3 minutes. That way there you can see up to 3 minutes at a time on the graph, and you'll also be able to see what your ping is doing within 10-second intervals. After that, you just want to select the closest server to you and then just hit start. First, it's going to establish a baseline ping, and then it's going to monitor your network and look for ping spikes. This graph will show what's going on and how high and how often your ping is spiking. Now, this alert line is going to show if your ping's going over 250 milliseconds, and then this meter is going to show if your stability is great, good, poor, or bad at any given time during the test. Now, what you can do is play an actual game while you have this running in the background, and then you can either use OBS to record the test using a window capture, or you can just stop the test after the game and then come down here to where it says table review and see what your ping was doing throughout the game. Now, it even has all the timestamps if you recorded the gameplay, and you can sort of match up to see if you were getting ping spikes during specific parts of the game. Unfortunately, you can't go backwards on the graph, but the table review is pretty much the same thing. Now, the second way to do this, which might be a little bit more reliable, but also a little bit more involved, is to download a program called WTFast. This program's recommended by my Asus gaming router, so it's definitely safe. What it does is it detects the game that you're playing, and then it automatically optimizes the network and then shows you what your network is doing both with and without the optimizations. Now, you can see that while I was playing, the connection for the default network settings is all over the place, and I'm getting massive ping spikes and packet loss. Now, a lot of times if packets show up late and out of order, it's not going to show up as packet loss in the game, but it will show up on the stability test programs. Now, unfortunately, you either have to record the test with an OBS window capture or just tab out of the game sporadically to check the results, because once you're finished and you close the game out, it's only going to show overall percentages. You can't go back and check the graph. Now, with this method, you get a 3-day free trial, but in order to keep it, you have to pay $13.37 a month, but you can always just test your connection and then cancel it before the 3 days is up, and then you won't get charged at all. Now, I've used both of these methods to help figure out what my issues were. It's not the end-all be-all to how good your internet is, but these tests will definitely give you some indication if there's something up with your network, and that could be because of settings on your computer, hardware on your computer, or just some other problem with the network itself. The Warzone servers can always be an issue too. They're pretty antiquated compared to most other games out there. Now, like I said, be on the lookout for the network optimizations video. It helped out a ton with my ping in Warzone. I'm definitely still having some issues though, so hopefully this new network card will help straighten that out. I'll have a video out on that as well, plus I have a bunch of other videos planned that should help with overall gaming performance. If you found this video helpful, drop a like, follow me over on Twitter to stay up to date on everything Warzone 3 and Black Ops 6, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more short, straight to the point videos like this. I'll catch you next time, and if not, kick rocks. Peace.
Kick rocks, biatch!